Hello, kia ora, I'm Philip Duncan, and thank you for joining us for our Friday and weekend weather update recorded on March 24th. High pressure, it's the main feature in the New Zealand area at the moment, and in fact, for the next week or so ahead, most of New Zealand remains drier than average, a pattern we've been seeing in a number of areas over the past few weeks following the especially wet January and February. So low pressure out to the east, some weak low pressure out here in the Tasman, but still plenty of high pressure on its way from the Indian Ocean towards us. Before we move on, please support this site. They provide it as a free service to the world, and it's just one guy who's made it. So if anyone's got a spare bit of money and they would like to support it, please do. Let's now get into the forecast. So here's the rainfall. This is for the next 3 days from Friday morning. Not much for the North Island, just a few showers really, a little bit of patchy rain on that southwestern corner, otherwise dry. Mainly dry on the east here, the blue, green and yellow at the very start of the scale, but the heaviest rain pretty much down around Fiordland and South Westland. That's where you're getting up around 50 or 60 millimetres. And we've got rain accumulation maps on the Weather Watch website and also rain accumulation for your local area at both Weather Watch and Rural Weather for the next 10 days out. Let's have a look at Aussie. Bit of rain over in Western Australia through the interior for the most part, and over towards Sydney, as we talked about yesterday, coastal New South Wales, all the way up to just about Brisbane, seeing a little bit of wet weather from a weak front that's basically moving through. And you can see it here on Saturday, joining up Sydney with Greymouth. There you go. That's a connection. So the rain's not too bad. It's not too widespread, really. The front's quite weak. So easterlies pushing into Sydney, or nor'easters. And over in the west coast, you're seeing sou'westers moving through. So they'll be slightly cooler for the South Island coming out of the Southern Ocean. And high pressure, fairly weak high pressure to the north, keeping things fairly settled there. Not a great deal of change on Sunday. That weak front moves a little bit up into the North Island. Very patchy. We're not seeing very much in the way of rain, but it might sort of hang around for a few hours, a bit drizzly and light as that front moves through. But this is all high pressure, so that front really doesn't have much chance of sort of lingering around. On Sunday, there'll be a westerly flow that will warm up Southland and Otago, your daytime highs in some areas making it into the low 20s. Make the most of it because things are about to change next week. Look at this here on Monday. You can start to see that colder change coming through, and it does. It comes through into the afternoon, and your temperatures drop quite a bit. In fact, down 10 degrees on where they were for the Sunday. So you may not feel that till later on, but you certainly will be feeling it here on Tuesday as that colder air moves northwards. Low pressure up in the tropics, stuck around Tonga. It's not delivering too much in the way of rain because the worst of it is further to the south. And around Australia, low pressure in the Bass Strait area, bringing in rain for Tasmania and still further showers and maybe some thunderstorms for inland parts of New South Wales. But this is probably the main feature, a real temperature drop coming through for you Monday night and then across Tuesday. And by Wednesday, that sort of slides up the eastern side of the North Island. It's not too dramatic, but it's enough to drop those temperatures back. And over here, that low pressure zone moves further out to the Tasman Sea. So our final map here for Thursday of next week shows mostly dry weather still around New Zealand and warmer, typical autumn, ups and downs. So we've got that southerly around Sunday, Monday next week. But by Thursday next week, back come the northerlies and the temperatures, they start to lift up. So on the other side of it, there's obviously the southerly coming in for Adelaide, Melbourne and Hobart. Temperatures will be down for you as we kick off the end of next week. I don't know if that's a saying, but it is now. That's all from me. Have a good weekend. We'll see you again on Monday with our next update.